I've just received a message off a friend of mine to say he has some gaming bits that he wants to give to me for free. Now, he hasn't told me exactly what he's got. He's left it as a bit of a surprise. So what we're going to do, we're going to hop in the car and we're going to drive and see what he has, load up the boot, hopefully. And then what I'll do, I'll show you what we pick up. Now, I'm not sure whether he's going to want to be on camera, which is fair enough. But let me try and vlog as much as I can, show you guys what I've got. And then when I get home, we can go through it one by one, let you know the value and take it from there. All right, so I've just gone to pick up the gaming stuff and I'm shocked here. Ross has given me all of this stuff. And I know Ross, I've known Ross for many years and he looks after his gaming stuff. So we've got, let me run through what we've got quickly. We've got a PS4 Pro, the white version. Might be missing the charger for the controller, but we'll check that anyway. Now with these PS4 Pros, some are worth lots of money, depends on the series number or I don't know what it's called, but I'll show that up on screen. Some can be worth a lot of money, so I'll be checking that as well. We've got a PlayStation 3 here. We've got an Xbox. What one's this again? It's an Xbox. That's an Xbox One X. I never had one of these myself, but we've got the original Xbox as well. What was this called again?
Oh, that was the Xbox One.
Xbox One. So we've got the Xbox One, the Xbox One X. I've got the Series X or S, Series X I've got, but I never had that one myself, so they're cool. And we've got obviously the PlayStation 3, PS3. Ross couldn't find the Xbox charger, so when I brought this one, and then lo and behold, he found the original one, so we've got that as well. We've got some PlayStation 3 accessories here. I know these normally go for okay money, so one of them, we've got the camera for the PlayStation 3 as well, and all the leads for that. What's that, like an aerial lead?
Yeah, it's the aerial adapter for the Xbox One.
Xbox One aerial adapter. I never had one of them either. And then we've got some games, probably some of the best games here. We've got Grand Theft Auto, Red Dead, Rainbow Six, they're all for Xbox, and a couple for PlayStation. We've got Horizon Zero Dawn and one of my favourites for PlayStation, Call of War. So Ross has been extremely kind and has given all this to me for free. I think he's lost his head a little bit because he knows what it's worth, but I really appreciate it. Are you sure you're happy, Ross, for it to be free?
Yeah, honestly.
Okay.
Just trying to clear out room and...
This is mad. This is one of the best gaming bundles I've ever got, and so yeah, I'm glad Ross WhatsApped me and said, hey mate, I've got some gaming stuff. And the good thing about this, he didn't tell me what he had, so this is a real surprise for me when I rocked up today. Most people have maybe, I don't know, like a PlayStation 1 original with a couple of controllers and it doesn't even work, but all this stuff's really good stuff. So what we'll do, we'll get home and I'll talk through it a little bit more. Right, so we just got back from seeing Ross. You would have sort of comps there as I was showing what I picked up. Now, Ross wanted to give me all of that stuff for free, but I had a chat with him after we stopped filming that part where I showed you there, and I want to make sure Ross gets some money for this stuff. There's some really good bits there, as you can see. He knew the value, he wanted the space back. So what we've agreed to do, and it's the first time I've ever done this, is we are going to do a consignment deal. So what a consignment deal is I get all the stock for free from Ross. I do all the work. I do all the heavy lifting. So I list the items on the various platforms. I'm going to probably stick it on Vinted first of all and then put it onto eBay. Give it a good chance on Vinted maybe for a week or two and then cross-list to eBay. So I'm going to do all that work. I'm going to deal with the customer service, going to deal with the shipping of the item. And then what we've agreed is a split. Now, Ross wanted 35%. I'm paying him 40%. So basically, when an item sells on any of the platforms, after fees, I will transfer Ross 40% of that sale. For instance, if the PlayStation sells for £200 and then it goes down to 180 with fees, Ross will get 40% of that 180. And what we've agreed, in the terms we have agreed, is I'm going to send Ross the money straight away. Okay, I'm going to deal with the returns if anything gets returned. I'm going to deal with anything like being scammed if that comes into play. That's only because I know Ross as a friend. If I was to do a consignment deal with someone else, and this is what you really need to think about the consignment, there is some pros and there is some cons. Some of the pros are you get the stuff for free. Okay, so you get lots of stock for free. you've got to do all the work, but you do get everything for free. So my cost of goods for all of that gaming stuff you saw was zero. So I've got no money into it. So even if we was to get scammed and I've paid Ross out some money, hopefully eBay will cover. Vinted is a bit more difficult when it comes to looking after you. But I should be pretty good. And even if I do get scammed on, say, one console, the others should see me right, you know, if I've paid out Ross the money. Also, he's my friend. So at the end of the day, if we get scammed and I've sent him some money, he'll probably just send it me back anyway. So we're all good there. But one thing to consider with consignment is what your contract and payment terms are with the person you're consigning for. So Ross said to me he's happy to wait for the return window. I was the one who said to Ross, no, I'm going to pay you straight away. But if I was to be doing this for someone on a regular basis, I would have terms with them. Whether that be your 14-day, your 30-day, or your 60-day eBay return window, that might be the time where you say, until that window has passed, I do not pay you out the money. But on top of that, remember, people can still open up chargeback charges on their credit cards where they can actually claim up to 6 months, I believe it is. So you might want to hold off until 6 months until that period has passed. That's what you've got to agree before you do any kind of deal like this. The other thing you need to consider as well is the person you are consigning for. I know Ross, he's not going to be on my case every hour. Has it sold yet? Has it done this? Has it done that? Have you listed it yet? Have you done this? I've told Ross I'll be listing the items this week on Vinted. I've also said to Ross that I will be accepting sensible offers, okay? I'm not stupid when it comes to offers. He understands that it's about getting things in and out. So if, for instance, we list up a console for £100, we have an offer for £80, I'm not having to text Ross to get his yes, we'll accept or no, we'll reject. He trusts in what I'm going to do. So make sure if you do consignment for someone else, you have them terms in place as well. Who is the key decision maker when it comes to accepting, rejecting offers? So you don't want to be having to message a consigner, miss out on an offer because they don't get back to you for a couple of days, etc. So all things you do need to consider. So I'm going to get to work on these consoles, okay? I'm going to test them all first of all. Ross has assured me that everything has been tested. As I said in the video, he looks after all of his stuff, I know that. I'm going to test it. I'm going to show pictures of the stuff tested on the listings when I list things up. I'm also going to show the different serial numbers on the listing as well. And that's really important for me when it comes to video game consoles, because if someone's going to do a switcheroo, it's very hard to do that with a serial number shown in the picture. So that just gives me the added security. So yeah, let me know your thoughts on that. What would you have done? How much would you have paid for the consignment deal? Would you have done 10%? Would you have done 60% for Ross, 40% for me? How would you have done it? Because as I said, Ross didn't want anything from it initially, but he's my friend and I want to give him something for it. And I think that's the fair way to do. Also, I know Ross has good stuff. So in the future, he might have more stuff to sell and he wants to sell it to me. Or he might have more stuff he wants to sell and he wants me to consign for him, which is a win-win for me as well. So Ross, I know you watch these videos. You'll probably comment, thank you so much for the deal. Thanks for reaching out. I'm buzzing because this is the kind of stuff I really get excited about selling. I just can't find enough of it. Anyway, hope you enjoyed that video. Bit different. Let me know if you've done consignment and let me know what you would have paid with the percentage. See you soon.